So happy to have on the air with us today Sarah Perreault with the Old Farmer's Almanac, which is out for this year. The 2020 edition is here, and we're so excited because it's such a cool book, and we look forward to it every year. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us. Now, you're the editor of this thing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. This must be so much fun to work on.
It really is. You say you learn something new every day, and I literally cannot come into the office and not learn something new. So it doesn't stop when you're done going to school.
No. I have no idea how somebody would qualify themselves for this job, but you've done it. Congratulations.
You have to have varied interests, and you have to be able to roll with the punches, and you have to love to work hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing about the Almanac that people look forward to most of all, I think, is the weather forecasts. And it's the talk of the town when they come out because everybody looks and say, really, it's going to be like that this year? And we're doing that, Sarah. We're looking at our area particularly, and we're saying, what is a polar coaster?
Right, exactly. And it's going to be wet and wild, and there's the northern tier of the U.S. We're saying they're going to have a parade of snowstorms, just one after the other. So if you like snow, that's where you want to head. But for your section of the country, winter temps are actually going to be a little bit above normal, which doesn't mean warm, just not as cold as you would expect.
Yeah.
And your precipitation is going to be a little bit below normal. Still going to be winter, but maybe not as harsh as you're used to.
Yeah, and the thing is that when it's a little bit warmer, just a little bit makes it so that you'd rather have snow than freezing rain and sleet and all of that.
Right, and then sometimes it's wet, and then it turns to snow, and then you get slush.
Yeah.
That's no fun either.
No, it's not. It absolutely isn't. You're slipping and sliding all over the place. But when you put together the Old Farmer's Almanac, as you do, and you're able to come up with weather forecasts, what is it, 18 regions?
Yep, we have 18 regions, which includes Alaska and Hawaii, which some people would think, how hard is it to do Alaska and Hawaii? But, there's different sections. It's a task.
Sure.
But, yeah, we cover the whole United States, Alaska and Hawaii, and then we also have a Canadian edition, so we're doing their weather regions as well.
Well, when you're putting that together, obviously you need some real experts that are going to weigh in on this and help you to come up with all of this information. How do you do that?
Well, we're basically using the same formula that was devised by our founder back in 1792, but we do work with a meteorologist, and he obviously has access to weather models and radar and all kinds of great, state-of-the-art technology. But it is still basically based on the three scientific disciplines of solar science, climatology, and meteorology.
Oh, okay. And then you look forward, too, because you're not just predicting the coming months, but you're all the way into next year. And on the backside of the handy card that you provided me, it has the weather map for summer of 2020 as well. And we're right on the edge of sizzle and drizzle and wicked hot in our region. Yeah,
next summer it does look like it's going to be warmer. A lot of the country's going to have warmer temperatures. And sizzle and drizzle, yeah, that's not great news, is it?
You're not doing
I'm in the section of the country that says wicked hot.
Are you? You're in New England, aren't you?
That's right, yes we are.
Oh, yeah. You're based in, New Hampshire?
We are. We're based in Dublin, New Hampshire, which is towards the bottom of the state.
I was just in that region a couple of weeks ago. It's such a beautiful area. My goodness.
It really is very green right now.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the leaves to turn, but very, very green.
I'll take the green, thank you. You can keep your leaves. The Old Farmer's Almanac 2020 edition is always full of not just weather information, but all kinds of information, entertaining and helpful. What are some of the highlights as you put the book together this year that really stand out for you?
There was a couple of stories. We always have favorites. Each editor ends up having some favorites, but mine, we have a history of noise article, and you think, what, the history of noise? That sounds strange, but it's why it's bad for our health and how people since the beginning of time have been fighting against it. So that's kind of was fun. And then my other favorite article, what the size and shape of toes say about the person that has those toes.
Wait a second. Say that again. What the size and shape of your...
What the size and shape of toes say about their owners. So let's say if your toes are all about the same length, that means you're caring and reliable and practical. But if your toes descend in length from big toe to little toe, you might be a more private, secretive person. You might not show your emotions to people. It's just a fun article.
Okay. Well, then mine's in that category, and it's right. That's absolutely right.
Oh, see? Science.
Now, what about when one toe is longer than the other toe, and abnormally long or anything like that?
Well, if your second toe is longer than your first toe, which I think is pretty common, it means you're prone to stress and you might be a little bit impulsive, but you're also athletic and creative.
Oh, okay. All right. And athletic is kind of surprising because with those long toes, you're probably tripping a lot. But okay. We're talking with Sarah Perreault. The Old Farmer's Almanac 2020 edition is out. You mentioned, Sarah, that this has been going on since when? 1792?
1792 was the first edition that came out, which is when George Washington was president. So I kind of like to think every president has used the Old Farmer's Almanac.
There you go. There you go. And you've been involved for how long?
I've been at the Almanac for 16 years.
Was this the career that you thought you were going to have?
Well, I was born and raised in New Hampshire, so I always knew about the Old Farmer's Almanac. I actually went to college, and I had to drive by the Old Farmer's Almanac to get there. And I always thought, well, I bet that's a really cool place to work.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, 2 years after I graduated from college, they had an opening, and I got in. I was so excited.
When you get in to the offices themselves and you think of all of that history, do you ever just go and pull out, say, 1816 and just to see what it was like?
I do have the opportunity pretty regularly to be looking through all the old almanacs as I'm working throughout the day. But yeah, it's pretty fun, and people come to visit us, and we give them a little tour. The office isn't much. It's an old converted farmhouse, but, people are interested, so we take people on a small tour. Oh, sure. The Old Farmer's Almanac 2020 edition is out, and you don't just do the original issue that you put out every year. There are different issues for different people, for instance, for kids, right? That's right. Volume 8 of the Old Farmer's Almanac for Kids was just released at the same time as the 2020 Old Farmer's Almanac. That's a lot of fun. I'm actually the editor of that series. And it's 192 pages of full color. There's no advertisements in the one for kids. Mm-hmm. And we cover a lot of the same categories: astronomy, gardening, weather. But we also have a section about, accomplished kids, kids that are doing good things in the world and maybe inspire some of the kids that read it. So I hope all the kids are picking up a copy. You have to make it exciting for kids, too. It's a whole different type of publication, isn't it? It really is. It's beautifully designed and laid out. There's a lot of activities to engage the readers. And actually, it's for kids, but parents and grandparents and teachers, they love it, too. So it's for everybody. Sure. Are there other Old Farmer's Almanac editions with the sort of special interests in mind? Well, we have the Canadian edition, so obviously if you live in Canada, that's specialized for that area. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we have a gardening guide that comes out every spring. We do wall calendars and cookbooks, so we have other things under our umbrella that people can look at. And if you just want to, find out a little information about what's happening today, you can always go to almanac.com. Oh, yeah. You do that every day, huh? You keep the website going? Yes, it gets updated daily. I wanted to go back to this year's edition, and we only have a couple of moments left with Sarah Perreault, and talk about this article, How Dogs Train People. What's that all about? So we have worked with this woman who's an animal trainer several times. Her name is Stephanie, and she wrote this article for us. So it's really a story about how she was trying to help some people train their dog, and she helped them think of it in terms of how you live your own life, such as, okay, so you've got a dog, and you're telling the dog to stay, but then you walk away. So the dog doesn't understand what stay means because you said it to them and walked away. So she tried to explain it to that person, like, well, would you give your 16-year-old daughter a driving lesson and then say, okay, go get on the highway, and then leave? She doesn't know what she's supposed to do. You have to show them before they can learn the behavior. Yeah. Well, that's a great point, and I'm glad the article's in there just for that reason. And there are other articles that have all kinds of different interests in mind. There's one on chickens. Right. Well, I mean, it's really a book for everyone, whether you want to, look up into the sky, see what's going on, or grow vegetables, maybe find a recipe. It's really just a unique blend of wit and wisdom.
There are also folk remedies and recipes and all those wonderful things that we've come to expect from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Absolutely, every year. The home remedies article this year is about homemade pain relievers, things that you can make with ingredients you already have in your kitchen.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, it's wonderful. Tell folks how they can get the book.
The Old Farmer's Almanac is available everywhere books and magazines are sold. You can also find it at almanac.com or also amazon.com.
There you go. Sarah, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it. I enjoyed this a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad, and I hope you enjoy your winter.
Don't go too far, Sarah. All right. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.